Deadass, not wasting y'all time. Let's just get into it. My name is Jason Explorer. Pleasure to meet you. Hit the subscribe button, please, and let's get to it. So, a lot of things just happened with Genshin Impact releasing the Teyvat Interlude video that they just recently had, which was talking about basically a bit of Snezhnaya and the Fatui Harbingers and how they are basically revealed now, which is absolutely insane that we get to see them now after so long of playing the game, honestly. And I can clearly definitely say this shit is just giving me straight Kingdom Hearts vibes, 100%. Not completely, but enough to the point it's just like, damn, this is just like icy ass Organization 13, if I'm being dead ass with you, honestly. Like, if you just clearly look at the characters, clearly you can see that this is some Organization 13 BS. Like, look at all these people, 100%. The person on, let's just go far left to who I think these characters look like and from a different piece of media, and then we just gonna actually talk about things. First of all, man on the left with no face and just all mask look like adult Vanitas. Like, let's be perfectly honest. The person that's sitting on the robot looks like Monica Toa with that, you know, researching robot sciencey ass knowledge and how she's sitting down. That just give me Monica Toa vibes. Small man right here looks like, I guess, Penguin from Batman or Igor from Persona, whatever you want to basically kind of think of. Bandage Girl, I have absolutely no idea what I can honestly give her, but actually she's probably the creepiest and strongest one, considering that especially she doesn't see, her eyes is literally bandaged for whatever reason, which probably means that she's the most dangerous one. Obviously, man in the middle look like Game of Thrones or some dude from Game of Thrones. Just give me Game of Thrones vibes, honestly. There go Child, you know, being Child. And then you also have evil Eula, which honestly, this is just Eula, but if she actually took the revenge shit actually seriously and actually mean that she's gonna kill you with that vengeance. So yeah, that's just evil Eula, ice Eula, 100%, ice cold, even worse. Then you also have people, what people say is Aizen over here, honestly, and yes, I can absolutely see that, but I feel like he's more of a Kabuto, if I'm being frank, honestly. And then you have Gojo on the farthest of the rights, and that's pretty much all your, you know, Fatui ass characters. First of all, the trailer, when it starts out, it's basically just showing you, yeah, this is about, kinda about Senora in a way, and about basically her funeral in some shape and form, which was absolutely, you know, something I didn't think we was gonna even see, because, you know, she got basically turned to a crisp, honestly. There's no remnants of her left outside of the, you know, fire crystal moth thing, basically. And it seems like everybody was just there, just, I guess, to some way, in shape and form, pay respects. I would say that about paying respects, that's what they're doing, but honestly, this is not paying their respects. And I think they're just kind of joking about Senora being like something that was, you know, important. I feel like this is not a heavy loss for the Fatui, even though they did lose a member. To be perfectly honest, if you look at the title, which was, you know, a Winter Night's Lazo, if you translate the word Lazo, it means joke. So it's a Winter Night's joke. So does that mean that they're shitting on Senora? Which, to be perfectly honest, I can kind of see that be the case. And basically, if you don't know what a Lazo is and the indefinite, you know, like what it truthfully absolutely means, because I didn't know what it means, but it's like a comedy of profession. So again, it still goes in that joking kind of theme. And I guess that would make sense why the main middle old age ass dude was kind of like, this is not some type of performance, you don't got no audience, just do your damn mission and make sure you're doing it right. You know, I guess that's where he was coming in when it comes to that, because he must not like what Senora was trying to do. So that, I guess that makes sense. Anyway, to kind of go over my notes a little bit, the old guy was, and I know that they all have names, I know, but I'm not going to mispronounce the names, so I'm not going to necessarily, you know, bring it up. But the Game of Thrones dude started out with basically saying, who are the sages? And well, not saying who are the sages, but it started out with the sages, and I'm just like, who are they? And are they some type of like leader of Shinaya, like leaders of a group? And then it starts to make me think maybe the Fatui is like an underground agency or like government in some shape and form that works for the Sarita, and like some kind of basically underdog kind of like basically like like some kind of soldier group or something like that that works with Sarisa that the main public does not know, which I think that is the case. The main public I don't think knows what the Fatui truthfully is. They might have heard rumors and stuff about it, but they don't necessarily know exactly what the Fatui is, which is why the Sarita has this underground group going around, you know, doing things for, you know, Sarita and stuff, and gathering the Gnosis and whatever. So I think maybe that's what that is. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. Then obviously, oh, if you paid attention to the song in the very end segment when they about to close out with, you know, the casket and everything, you would hear the chorus say Rosa, as in reference to Rosalina. Rosalina? This ain't Mario Kart. Rosaline, who is the real name of the Senora. So that was a nice touch, honestly. It's kind of like how, you know, people be saying Sephiroth in the song where Sephiroth's One Wing Angel plays. So that's kind of a cool nod, honestly. Also, I thought the casket was the Sarita at first. I honestly thought it was. But then, you know, as I kind of replay it and rewatch it, I kind of figured out, oh yeah, that's the Senor. The Senor is in the casket. Sarita's still kicking in. So, you know, that's pretty much how that is. I'm gonna give you a straight up prediction of what I think is gonna happen to everybody at this table. Everybody is going to die. Everybody. I don't care if they're playable or not. Everybody is going to die. Now, granted, is some of these characters gonna be playable? Probably. Hopefully the girl with the bandage is. Hopefully the evil version of Eula is. Hopefully, you know, some of these characters are playable, because I will look forward to playing these characters. But do I think everybody is going to live? No. Like, Child already uses a delusion, and we saw what happens to people that uses delusions. And even if you're strong, you might not be able to make it with that delusion. So, or at least you're going to lose something pretty big. So who can necessarily say if Child is going to be, you know, still kicking it around with us? He might still be playable, but that doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, he's going to be around in the story forever. So I don't necessarily think that's going to be the case. I feel like everybody at this table is going to die. At this casket, I mean, is going to die. So that's going to be my prediction. If there is going to be one, there's probably going to be one survivor. But I can tell you right now, I guarantee you, it is not going to be Child. It is not. Child is going to die for the Sarita, 100%. I feel it. I have a feeling that that's absolutely going to be the case. Also, with the place that they were in that was basically frozen to all hell and covered in ice, that it's like some type of temple that, you know, you put your grave in, basically. I don't know what it's necessarily called, but at least I'm gonna just call it a grave house. But essentially it's like a temple that you put like your basically your casket and grave and stuff in, and that's basically a place to represent them. So that's essentially, in my opinion, what that is when it comes to Senora. It's basically Senyora's real deal temple resting place kind of thing, honestly. There's a lot of people, when I was watching people's reactions to this, I was seeing a lot of people saying that, oh, this character grew up, or this character looks completely different. And I didn't realize, or at least I forgot, there was a manga to Genshin Impact, which, if I'm being honest, this kind of blows, because that means I have to keep dipping and dodging so many damn people about this type of stuff. Like, I already don't like leaked information. It's even worse when you have to deal with manga people, honestly. So, you know, I don't know if I should honestly read the manga. I kind of don't want to. I kind of just want to play the game and explore it in game. But we'll see what happens, honestly. But yeah, I completely forgot there was a manga, and that's why some of these people already know some of these characters within the Fatui as well. They're also hunting down Scaramouche, as I should mention, because he has one of the Gnosis and, you know, basically ran off with it, which makes me predict that Scaramouche is going to try to use the power of the Gnosis himself, try to beat some ass, and then still get clapped at the end of the day, because obviously Scaramouche is kind of an idiot. So at least in the eyes of the Fatui, at least that's what I'm thinking, that's what they're going to try to do. So that's what I'm thinking. He's going to use this gnosis somehow, and essentially, you know, try to think he's going to be on top of the world. But at the end of the day, nothing really happens except he gets his ass beat, and that's going to be death number 2. And I feel like he might die soon, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised if Scaramouche ended up dying kind of soon. I wouldn't be surprised if he would be the next death, honestly, because I can totally see it happening. Maybe outside of Dottore, but we'll get to him. But yeah, yeah, and speaking of Dottore, basically, it seems like he's gonna be the main antagonist of 3.0 when we get to Sumeru, because there's some shit between him and another character, Colleen? I don't necessarily know her name, but there's gonna be some beef between her and obviously the doctor in some shape or form, because it seems like the girl knows the doctor. Also, speaking of the girl, why does she have like this gem on her like on her chest? It looked like some kind of dragon eye or some type of eye in general. It looks really weird. Anyway, one of the things that caught my attention when it comes to Dottore 2 was obviously the whole thing about the segments. And when it comes to the segments, obviously he was saying that, at least from what I've heard of the voice lines that Child has of different people within the Fatui, if you haven't heard it, basically he was saying that he had took different parts of himself and kind of made segments out of him out of different ages that he kind of lived through his life, and basically assigned each of them different tasks to do something, which segments means clone. So he made different clones of himself in different ages to kind of, I guess, do something with that. I don't necessarily know why or for what or how much knowledge he has, but he seems to be a threat that is definitely gonna be, you know, a pain in the ass to deal with. I honestly also think that we're not even gonna fight him yet. I feel like that's gonna be a little bit off in the future, maybe in the next place that we go to. Also, the whole thing about the tree being on fire, I don't know if that's Sumeru or not. It would make sense if it was, but I'm not necessarily sure. Maybe in the other type of events of what happened with when Ether was traveling around the world, maybe that is what happened. I don't know. Honestly, this is the type of thing that people needed for Genshin, because a lot of people has been falling off of the game because a lot of things have not been happening, which makes me wonder what the hell is going to happen in 2.9. But yeah, a lot of people are like just not being into Genshin because obviously it's not necessarily doing anything. So hopefully with this video and this introduction of the real Fatui, hopefully we get to basically have more people to come back and play the game and get more invested into it. I feel like more serious and dark things are going to happen, which is something that Genshin long needed. And hopefully now, while we get into Sumeru, the game is really starting to actually do stuff. Like, it started with the Senora, which was a huge thing, but now we need the game to absolutely just pop off in a crazy way, because we haven't really seen it yet. So hopefully we get to see something crazy soon. And honestly, I'm really liking the designs of all the Fatui Harbingers, honestly. And again, I'm really curious about the bandage girl. Like, she is drawing my attention so much outside of the evil Eula, because I think Child said that she's a betrayer of some shape and form. And when it comes to the bandage girl, Child does not know why she's number 3. So who knows? But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where they're gonna take it and all, and seeing how things are kind of gonna go. So yeah, but anyway, that's pretty much what I have for this one and my thoughts about everything, honestly. So hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification everywhere else. Also follow me on Twitter, and if you'd like to donate to the channel, Patreon is available as well. And until then, it's your boy Jay, signing off. Have a blessed day.